We shot the movie in Alaska because the producer, Ashley Sneed, lives in Anchorage, Alaska.
Pop your head in, Ashley.
And called me and said, do you want to make a movie in Alaska? And I said, absolutely. I've never even been.
And Ashley's husband, Ashley, had a plane.
Yeah.
It's true. We had a lot of resources in Anchorage.
That's fantastic.
And the last thing that shot there is some Drew Barrymore movie everybody kept talking about 10 years or so ago.
Wow. But the other thing is 35 millimeter. This is like serious stuff. Nobody shoots independent films in 35 millimeter, right?
Yes, as the Kodak spokesman. Yes, it was. Jake and I have done our last 3 collaborations on film. We did 35 back in 2014, then we did 16 millimeter, and personally delivering 16 millimeter in a 4K world was a little sketchy. And I sort of said, if we're going to shoot film, we just have to shoot 35. It's the inspiration for the film was my own stupid life, unfortunately, as many of them are. But I have a little bit of a barrier because I invite all these great actors to come in, and then thankfully it moves away from directly being about my life. But we started with, I hate to say, my own issues.
You broke up with a younger girl.
Yeah, a few of them.
Oh, wow.
It's an amalgam of a few post-divorce relationships.
Okay.
Put into one character. Who Dakota came in and changed completely.
Yeah. Well, I first met with Jake and Joe. We had a really great long Zoom and just kind of really clicked. And I hit them with a lot of my dating experiences and dating stories, which I think it just brought, my own experiences and like my own thoughts and desires and wants as, a single woman who was 31 at the time. And, that kind of changed Wendy a little bit. And I think that's the wonderful part of this process and the way that Joe makes films is that you are able to kind of come in and collaborate and figure out how to inject yourself or a version of yourself into the world.
I need it too. I mean, ultimately, we sort of start with the kernel of the idea, but it never becomes a movie until we're on set collaborating in that way. So I'm asking all of them constantly, like, here's what happened to me, but, you tell me, and how do we modify it?
You end up somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, with Jake and I, it's also like, how do we make a good movie? It's not a diary film about my life, It's sort of like we're shaping it and sculpting it, so we get these beginning ideas, but at the end of the day, it's got to work for an audience. The structure has to still work, so we're shifting constantly.
But the structure is built pretty tight, so we know what's going to happen. But when Dakota came on, Wendy changed dramatically. And that's when the movie really starts. And then we're building Chuck and Jack opposite Wendy. So whoever's kind of the lead of Joe's movie, that's your focal point, and then you kind of build around.
You've worked with him a lot. Like, when did you first meet?
We met at Drinking Buddies, and I think it was 2012.
Yeah.
And I love working with Joe. I'll hopefully do it until he gets sick of me. We found his ass in Juneau.
Yeah, Joe wanted to Zoom, and he's like, what's going on, man?
I was like, I just went around looking for pilots, and I felt so lucky that we met Cory,
He was grabbing salmon with his bare hands.
I really brought a lot of myself to this role. To be fair, though, I think I might have had the easiest job sort of understanding what to bring to a character. I didn't know Dakota before this, but there's a lot of work to be able to watch, as with Jake. And, a lot of it was, well, who is Jake? And like, what is the sort of like vibrant, hilarious, gregarious nature that he's going to bring? And I like had to sort of offer a very different person up for Wendy, Dakota's character. And so I sort of had a better idea of like what parts of my DNA I could bring to this guy to make it more interesting and to like lure her into a different kind of excited relationship.
We got that contrast too. You were reminding me, like, the shoot broke down in a way where we got to kind of do several days with Jake and Dakota, and then several days with Dakota and Cory. And it was very cool. It was almost like making these two different movies. Each of these relationships really did have a totally different energy.
Each one didn't really know what was going on when, like, you know, when Cory and I were working together, then Jake was sort of out of the loop, and then Jake and I were working together, and then Cory was out of the loop, and it kind of like weirdly mimicked something in the movie, and Joe and I were there for all of it.
I felt like I was keeping secrets.
Yeah, exactly.
You'd come back and be like, how'd it go with them? What's going
like,
on?
"It
I was
was
like,
good."
bro, you think
We're
I'm
like,
going to tell you?
I'm not paranoid. I'm just asking, like, how's the movie going? There was a time I never got to go to I didn't go to a set while Jake was working with Dakota, but there was a time. It's sort of the first sequence where Dakota and I are at the bar, and Jake came to set and watched, and there was this like kernel inside of me. I was like, oh, he looks stressed. This is good.
It was a really hot scene. I hated it. As a producer, I said, I think we should cut it. It doesn't work for the movie. Let's make Cory less charming and way uglier. His character should be 5'2". I think Hollywood's coming back. LA's coming back. There's a whole energy in that city. It's back to being production. You're driving down the street, and I get to see production vans and trucks again. I think indies, this being an example, we self-financed this one. There were no roadblocks. You know, it's the biggest one we've made together, but movies are coming back. If you start asking around to actors again, everybody's schedule's busy again. It's all starting to happen. So I think there's going to be a big turn. There's going to be an influx of movies coming out. And I think it's really going to be up to the streamers and distributors to figure out what to do with them and how to get them out them. But there's going to be great movies coming.
New Girl reunion, is that ever in the cards? Does Elizabeth ever bring it up, or no way?
Liz Merriweather? Yeah. We're all in besides Lamorne. So contraction.
Why is he not in?
Because he got an Emmy and he thinks he's better than us now. And I have direct quotes saying, I'm too talented and I'm too funny to be on a sitcom with you hacks. But the stuff he has said about me, Max, it's disgusting. And he's disgusting. He's a disgusting person. The Emmy went to his head. I'm going to say that very clearly. It changed you, my man, and we love you, but come back to the real you. And I've also talked to your family about this. But by the way, the fans, we're with the fans. So all the fans who want it, we all want it too. Write to Lamorne on Instagram, because he doesn't want it. He doesn't like the fans. He doesn't like them.
Nightingale, where are we? Is it in production?
Yeah, we're, almost. We're about to start.
Okay.
Yeah, my sister and I are going to do a movie together for the first time, The Nightingale, very soon, and we're super excited.
Where is it shooting?
In Europe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Europe,
great.
Europe.
Yeah, everyone is looking forward to that.
Thank
so.
you.